of the BS assessments. You're either ignorant or you're playing a game, a political game or some sort of other game that you're being paid to attack the Secret Service. There's a lot of money out there to attack the administration right now. And like I said, people in the media, they love money more than they love anything else. First off, he was completely FAFO'd. That's in line with every law enforcement operation that we engage in. Sometimes that's all that you can do. Again, out of character, lone wolf. Again, he's not really a lone wolf, but in other words, years ago he would have been looked at if he was on certain websites and he said certain things. Because why? There's only thousands and thousands of people per regional area that you needed to look at. Now we got Ms. Good. She could be the next shooter, but she's not here. But her personality is the shooter. Her wife is the shooter. Just a little further radicalization, that's all. All those people out there. What was that one guy's name? Preddy. Preddy could be the next shooter. They're radicalized people. So every one of those people would take DHS and FBI time to assess before they get to the guy that's out of character. And again, I'm sure there's character somewhere at the end. So all those people that were protesting ICE took the time up of the investigators to figure out if they're the next shooter. Without them, we'd have found maybe Torrance guy, but he's well secreted. But he was FAFO'd. I don't want to hear that on the ground. On the ground is all there is. We're in a crisis of psychological insanity. You've radicalized people to accept crime. You attack an ICE officer, you're okay. You attack Kristi Noem, you're okay. You're assessing something that's bullshit. Trump told you give him a ballroom. You're still fighting the ballroom. Because they would have been there. So it's like in my life, they block me from a wife and then they do a psychological assessment. Well, he doesn't have a wife. That's a negative. They create the conditions and then point at the victims. The government is a victim of the conditions you all created and the monsters you created. Oh, I'm not mad, but I'm going to run you over with my car. I mean, that's where we really are. It's like everybody's an evil ex-wife. Believe you me. That's pretty much the psychology, the evil ex-wife. I'm not mad at you, but I'm going to run you over. I wasn't mad, officer. He deserved it. My ex-wife wasn't that evil. She actually made her more evil than she normally would have been. Deep State was operating her. But she was difficult. If I hung around long enough, she may have run me over. So the reality is this. Like I said with the illegal aliens, we have narcotics distributors, and a lot of them will go to that line. They won't distribute narcotics, but they'll launder money. They'll do all the other stuff. They'll even provide cover volitionally. And it's not all of them, but some will. And again, if they didn't commit a crime this year, they commit one next year. That's a lot of the people. That's one of the things that Mullen should do is look at how many people they said. And again, they did a couple like that, but how many people actually last year that were illegal aliens didn't commit crimes or committing crimes this year? They even presented the facts earlier on incorrectly. And I didn't even see it. There's a larger number of citizens here and a smaller number of illegal aliens. Again, you can't even put them with immigrants. You have to go illegal aliens, because sometimes they'll just make it a fatter community by saying, lawful immigrants are lumped in. And again, parole is not lawful immigrant. That's still an illegal alien that was accepted based upon a program, but it's not a sure thing forever. It's like a mission creep. So the illegal aliens are this mass of millions and millions of people. Years ago, it was just thousands and thousands of people, maybe even tens of thousands. So when you had to look for the narco, it was a lot easier to find them because you didn't have to go through that mass of people. So it's the same thing. Now we have millions and millions and millions of radicalized people that flip the triggers for possibly being the next shooter. So when you're looking, you have to look through all those people that you all created based upon bullshit technology, bullshit facts, Soros paying them to be radicalized. You don't have to work. Soros will pay you. Just be a radicalized piece of garbage and attack ICE officers. These are psychological warfare methods at the level of the enemies of the United States. It's not freedom of speech. It's not peacefully assembling. But the problem is, in the locations where the juries are, they're radicalized people that get on the juries. It only takes one radicalized person to fail a case. And they're told to lie. They're on video saying that they're going to lie. I don't know yet if we have video of them saying they're going to lie to get on a jury, but they lie for everything else. Why won't they lie to get on a jury? So they're actually doing great. You pointed out that there was 3 attempts. Yeah, of course. There is a price to pay for radicalism and extremism. I've been telling you that for probably 15, 20 years. Actually, you know what? I started saying that in 2007, didn't I? Oh, they conveniently lost my Facebook information. Somebody hacked and we lost it, or whatever they said. But I warned you that the Russians were radicalizing our young people. And it may be not today that we don't have this big trouble, but within 10 years, we're going to start seeing trouble. And we did. And I increased the alarm 10 years later. And it's not only Russians. I told you they were in 2000. And again, you may have been blocked from it. It's not my fault that the Marshal Service and FBI blocked you from my information and neglected to turn it into who needed to see it. I told you those young people were being radicalized, and we're going to have trouble in the future with that radicalization. They're teaching them the wrong thing. They're teaching them anti-citizenship. That's what Miss Good is. She's an anti-citizen. That's who Pretty is, an anti-citizen. Years ago, they'd be in prison. I'll tell you that. So you want to ask the question, should they have been shot? They shouldn't have been there those days. And they wouldn't have been shot. Not here to play games with criminals that deal dope and traffic sex and say they're the heroes that save us all, like Swalwell. Try to turn other citizens into sexualized people that they can extort and sextort under the guise of protecting the community. My information was turned in by me to FBI. If they didn't act on it, we know the answer to that one. Bad CIA. Right. So it's that simple. If you didn't radicalize the nation and become, in my book, pieces of shit, then we wouldn't have a problem. In fact, if you build the ballroom and let it be built, Judge Leon, Leon's got to be like, oh, shit. Now, Leon's wrong on this one. I usually say Leon's a good guy, but he's wrong on this one. Don't over technicalize it. You know, spirit of the law versus jot and tittle law. The founding fathers would accept it. It looks great. It looks great. Okay. He got some private sector people to fund it. I was floored. You got private sector people to fund that? I mean, it's amazing. So let's let that go. Judge Leon get in the courtroom and say, based upon the totality of facts, it would benefit the nation to accept those gifts and construct that property in the way that it needs to be constructed for safety, security, and benefit of the nation. It's that simple. Don't jot and tittle technical this and jargon and letter of the law. It's spirit of the law says it's a good deal. We move on it. Of all the money that's been freaking wasted in this country, of all the laws and regulations that have been broken, you're going to stop the construction of that? I want another one on the other side to balance it. So I'm hoping a future president can build some space on the other side. Well, we need more available space at that location. The idea is the president shouldn't have to, we shouldn't have such an interchange where people have to go somewhere else. Now, again, it's a security issue. Everybody has a personality and, could be a sleeper person, but the more people we put there, but I think there should be some additional space for Secret Service. Maybe it's built into the ballroom. I don't know. And some, there should be apartments on the White House grounds. There should be the size of the ballroom, but have it, like 2 levels or whatever it's going to be. 2, 3 levels. I don't know. Again, I don't know what you're building subterranean. Now, if you're in federal law enforcement, I know they did it to me. Matt used to do it to me. He goes, what's that door? What is that door under this tunnel for? There's tunnels that go under DC, but nobody knows where they let out. Some people do, but so Matt would be like, There's tunnels all over the place. Who knows where they let out? Could be that door over there. One of the things I wanted to see, and I don't know if you saw it, and maybe they won't want to, if they won't allow it, but I wanted additional guard shacks at the gate or at the fence. I guess you can't disturb the view of the White House too much. But you made it aesthetically pleasing. But I wanted guard shacks with an underground passageway to the guard shack. So you have like a bullet resistant guard shack. Something aesthetically pleasing at the fence, where your SOG people could actually, if they needed to, they could go underground. They could even wait underground. Have it comfortable. They could come up through the guard shack. Right. At the front by the fence. So, every so many 100 feet or whatever, like 100 every 100 feet, you have a guard shack. I guess you couldn't do it. Could do it like 100 years ago. That's the point. Right. But I think it looks well enough. I just think you need 2 of them, one on each side. So again, it's a sign of the times versus anything law enforcement's doing. And they'll look to see if they miss something. Again, my opinion is somebody might be hiding these people. I mean, there's plenty of social media and IT people that want Trump to fail. That's partly how they do it. They hide criminals so that the crime goes up. Yeah, you may have an anti-investigative entity that's there to, it's IT and AI thwarting investigation. I know there's a metaphysical thing like that. No, the guy was completely faffoed. He's on the ground eating rug. And you're going to tell us that there's something wrong with the system because he actually tried it? He's a lunatic. Something motivated him to do it. They'll find it. They'll find the websites. And then you'll tell us what? You can't do anything about it? No, that radicalized data is terror data. It's solicitation of crime data. Material support data. But they'll say something, crazy that they learned on some anti-ICE website, and there'll be no way to prosecute it, even if you tried to prosecute it. There's an assessment. This is what's going on. They're not going to tell you everything, but if you're intelligent, you know what's going on. They have an assessment as to whether they're going to charge somebody, and part of that is, will we succeed? Why? You can't take everybody to trial, number one, because of the numbers of people. Number two, every case you have that you lose goes against your ability to deter that crime. Blame it on the radicalized people. And we know all who's doing that because they're trying to hide all the money they stole from all the benefit and NGO programs. That's what it's about. Make the world so crazy so they can't be investigated. I mean, they might find information where that Cole guy from Torrance is a pedophile, and he's just overcompensating. Right. Because somebody messed with his head. I don't care what it is. You all saying it's not an organized thing. I know it's an organized thing, or an organized crime thing, a racketeering thing. But people have learned how to professionally destroy their neighbor. That's part of it. If you count the number of narcissists 20 years ago and the number of narcissists today, they used to always be in like the Marshal Service. Now they're everywhere. Now, it used to be a lot of them are in government. They're still in government. That's how they get protection for it. Because they're reversing the truth. In other words, if you're too nice, you're a criminal. But if you're a narcissist, you're not. But of course, they're causing all the crime by destroying people. Or a good portion of the crime. So again, the answer is this. There's just too many people. Now, AI is picking up. Do you see how many people they arrest? Do you see the number they arrest versus what they used to arrest? So again, you haven't done an intelligent assessment. I mean, it used to be, years ago, it was just like some crazy dude that we just, whisk away to a commitment. But it's not that anymore. These are valid people trying to kill the president. Something to your thinking. Something to do with a lion head. So again, he was completely FOFO'd. That's the way it works. Could they have increased security? Yeah, but you go with what you know. What is your experience? How much security? Again, these are private venues, and they have their standards of what they generally allow. That may have been, again, that agreement may have been. I mean, Secret Service may have a folder, they pull it out, and right, something that was agreed to 10 years ago, possibly. So maybe it needs to be updated, and it will be. Again, obviously, we've never had anybody that would do anything like that. Closest thing we had was the streakers during sports sports events. The only thing, he needed to be naked. That would have been better, right? A naked man. But if you're really a law enforcement person, you really understand that that's the way it works. And again, he ate rug. He's sitting there eating rug. That's the way it works. Well, I don't know. Maybe because you feel like you're the media and you're the prima donnas, maybe it's not even about the president. Maybe you feel you were shortchanged. And the protection for your media gods. But I'll tell you this, they did fine. And you build that ballroom, it'll be even better. Again, the Secret Service did the work already. The FBI did the work already. They said, build the ballroom. It's too radicalized out there. Do you know why we don't get tariff rebates? Again, you media people are playing a game with the truth and taking it away. We don't have rebate checks because of the Democrats. Otherwise, we would have rebate checks. I guarantee it. Or tariff rebate checks. Again, those people shouldn't even have the tariff rebate check. The businesses were already raised. They should have to prove that they didn't raise the money and get the money from the consumer. They shouldn't get a cent until they prove that they didn't already recoup it in price increases. Yeah, that's how crazy the world is. So again, they're trying to do that same thing. Don't allow me to date to marriage, and then say, the psychological analysis, he's not married. That's what they do, shit like that all day long. Not tell you the truth of what I've been doing over the last 20, 30 years. I guess 30 years at this point. Maybe even longer than that. That's why, because they try to punk me out and don't say things publicly, but I used to not say things publicly at all until I realized they were lying about who I was to the community around me. And then I had to prove who I was. Again, blame them. Don't blame me. I had to write my senators, congressmen, CIA, FBI. Then they double-crossed me. Not unheard of. Again, I've been living a spy life. I shouldn't have to. Like where I have to protect myself like I'm a spy. Or not a spy against the United States. Actually, a spy for the United States, to tell you the truth. I don't think we have any spies for the United States in the agencies, if you ask me. All independent operators. Looking for that next $1 million. Well, that's one of the trappings of that type of work, because they'll set you up in a nice life. And then you want the life on the other side of the aisle. The meaning not political aisle, the criminal versus lawful aisle. At this point of the game, I do believe CIA brought narcotics into our country somewhere along the way and made money off of it, intentionally. Oh, it's a big illusion. They learned to create the biggest illusions in the world. Trillions of dollars were stolen from the war funds. I guarantee it's a CIA scam. I guarantee they did it. Or put the people up to it. And then had them pay their people. That's how it works, man. That's how corrupt this place is. And you think the Secret Service failed in causing that person to eat rug? One officer was injured. That's it. That's amazing. I believe that person was hidden. I believe some anti-law enforcement entity, could be a social media, could be Google. I mean, Google doesn't even know, its left hand doesn't know what its right hand's doing. I guarantee it. For all we know, there's a cell in there that Putin runs, or that China runs. Again, the problem is the people that are developing AI, the people that are developing all the IT, I don't trust them. They have ulterior motives. So we became dependent on this private sector of money grubbers, money grubbing narcissists, some of them. And you know who you are. Quit trying to change the meaning of narcissist. Simply try to stop being it. Because that's the game they play. You ask the average person what's a narcissist, they'll say Trump. That's how their mind works. That's how stupid they are. So quit being stupid on Fox News and realize this mother humper was fafoed and he ate rug, and that's the way it works. Yeah, we wish he could have ate rug earlier, but that's that. Tens of millions of radicalized people running around the United States ready to run over an ICE officer, and you're blaming it on Secret Service and FBI? False assessment. Not worth the airtime that it received. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God. Yes, I'm ruled.